Well, Pope Francis addressed bishops and cardinals from around the world at the opening of the summit yesterday. He said instead of focusing on condemnation, the Church must put concrete measures in place to stop abuse.
Il santo popolo di Dio ci guarda.
The holy people of God look at us and expect from us not simple and obvious condemnations, but concrete and effective measures to put into place. We need to be concrete. So let us begin our journey armed with faith and the spirit of maximum candor, courage and practicality.
Well, let's get more on this from our correspondent Giorgia Orlandi in Rome. Now, she's with James Falazak. He's a former priest and is also a survivor himself of abuse within the church. Well, good morning to you, Giorgia. Day 2. What can we expect today?
Well, I'm here with James Faluzak. Thank you very much for being here on the program. Why did you decide to come all the way from the US to attend the summit?
As a victim of clergy sexual abuse, this really is the last place that I want to be. It's very difficult to be here at St. Peter's. But as a priest, a former priest, as a whistleblower, I think it's important for me to speak publicly, to lend my voice to the voiceless victims, those who have not come forward, those who would not feel comfortable speaking in this way, that hopefully that they would gain some courage, some strength to be able to seek therapy or recourse to law enforcement or any other legal help or supports for their difficulties.
Pope Francis yesterday spoke about concrete measures. Do you think these are enough?
What I've seen so far in that list seems initially to be positive, but these are things that the Church has said before, and so it's curious whether or not that they will deliver, whether or not the Holy Father will deliver on these 21 possible recommendations. I'm somewhat skeptical because the track record, the history of the Church up to this point, suggests that maybe they still hope that this problem will go away, and if they make these kinds of statements, that it might satisfy victims and make us more inclined to trust them or to be quiet.
What are the common challenges that victims face when it comes to speaking up? How hard it was in your case?
It's enormously difficult. Simply as a survivor, along the way, most of the priests that I spoke to didn't even want to talk about it, and I think many of them didn't even believe me. These were priests who were my friends, priests that I trusted, and family members too. It's very difficult to speak about sometimes our very first sexual experiences as people are with a priest, and that's a very sensitive and enormously difficult thing to talk about. And then we are up against the authority of the Church, the enormous resources of the Church, both financially but in terms of their reputation, that most people, I think, are still inclined to believe the Church rather than a victim.
Last question, very briefly. Some of the survivors were disappointed by the fact that they didn't get the chance to meet the Pope. What is your take on this?
It would have been the easiest thing in the world for Pope Francis to meet with victims by showing videos of victims or just meeting with a few here and there over the years. He has distanced himself from us. And as a pastor, as a follower of the Lord, that seems to stand in opposition to what Christ would do, what Christ stands for.
Thank you very much, Mr. Faluzak. Well, we'll see if these people will get the answers they're looking for in the next days. Isabel.
Well, Giorgia Orlandi there for us in the Vatican. Thank you very much.